I remember watching some sparring sessions where I took a shot and I'd get annoyed. And I would then step up my training against the sparring partner. And it wasn't until we had videos where we could look back and watch these things. So England training camp, I got time to look back at it. I remember getting hit with 2 or 3 shots and I'm annoyed with myself. Not him, his job is to hit me. But I'm annoyed with myself. But then I started to watch the video and I thought, yeah. I may have got hit 3 times, but he got hit 33 times. And it made you look at yourself and look at the situation, and fighters they beat themselves up. If they get caught with a good left hook or a good body shot, they beat themselves up in ways they shouldn't do. The opponent just showed you got a gap, you got a defense weakness to be worked on. And hence why sparring shouldn't be to destroy each other, it should be to enhance each other. There's so many great things that I attained from boxing or got from boxing, but I have to now say that boxing didn't damage me. To have been in the ring with the great champions, with total champions, and never always having the right team or right preparation to go in there and to have come out unscathed in a game that's so brutal. Like I said to you, the teaching of the game is so important. And having the trainers I've met and people I've met, amazing. To have won my schoolboy championship till today, my first one, was wow. Yeah, how is that possible? How did I? Even I said, I remember before the fight started, before the championship started, I had 1 loss and I'd won 3, and I'd stopped 3 and lost on points in 1 fight, and I was now in the championships. So you got this form. It said regionals, quarterfinals, semi-finals. And I was saying to my friend Ronnie Wilson, who was also a top fighter in Burton Gym, a year older than me, and we was expected to go far. And I remember looking, I want to be quarterfinalists. If I get to the quarterfinals, that would mean something to me. To win them, that wasn't just. I remember I had tears in my eyes as they called out my name in before the fight. I was crying before the fight because it was so overwhelming. It felt like Las Vegas in Derby assembly rooms. It was amazing, and I remember seeing this arena. It was built up like Las Vegas to me. And I remember, why am I here? My clothes didn't fit me properly. I had wrong size protector on. I looked scruffy. I thought I don't look like a champion. I'm just turning up, and I looked across at this guy called Bromley, England rep, England this, England that, England badge, schoolboy champion, ABA champion. I was like, and I just thought, I looked at my coach and went, what am I doing here? And he grabbed me and he went, you've earned this. They put everything in front of you and you've beaten everybody and you're here. And I remember he had to wipe my eye. I was overwhelmed. I was tears before the bell started. And I remember the first round, just following him around the ring like a lost sheep and getting pummeled with jabs and left hooks. And then he hit me at the end of the second round. And that made me angry. I went back to the corner and sat down and my coach went, right, you've won. I went, what do you mean I've won? He goes, you've won. He thinks he's got your number. I goes, has he? And I went out and he goes, I want you to double jab backhand. You'll catch him clean. These codes. And I went out first round. Before he sat down, I'd landed it and he was down on the floor. And I just jumped. And it's such an incredible feeling. It's just surreal. You've won. But you don't know how you won. It's just that good practice of training, conditioning, everyday stuff, those small baby steps, all the time build up to this. And it's just like, that was quite easy actually. But it wasn't, but it felt quite easy. And I think that because of what it stood for, then the 5 battles of winning the championship, but then boxing for the world championship was a big thing. Even though I didn't win it, I still felt like I'd won in my heart of hearts what I did in preparation. I mean, 4 weeks to get ready for this world title. We need 3 months to get ready. And I went up a weight and boxed the man, Steve Collins. And I think if I had more time, I could have changed that result. And people who knew me would go, yes. People who don't know me would go, no, I don't think so. Steve's a tough kid. So not winning that fight, but participating and putting a really good show for myself. And again, not coming out of the ring getting hurt. That was amazing. And the British Championship, winning that, where I was on the dole, and I had to stop work to train, to concentrate on this guy, Frank Grant, who beat Errol Bomber Graham, the our best champion this year, he never won a world title. To follow behind him and beat that guy on national TV, it wasn't Sky then, it was national TV, the whole country saw me, and that was an incredible time, because I was not making any money, I was not getting a chance at these titles, and Frank Grant gave me the chance to fight for the British title, which I held on for 5 years, and that's my fame for boxing, to hold on to the British title for so long.
He's called it off. We have a new champion, and he is flat out. His name's Neville Brown, a brilliant amateur. They said he couldn't make it as a pro. He has. He is the new British middleweight champion after an impeccable performance with touches of Leonard, with touches of Whittaker, and a wonderful, wonderful performance and touches of Holyfield as well. He's got a lot of fans that have come down here from the Midlands. Their trip has been rewarded. Neville Brown is the middleweight champion of Britain.
If I don't trust you, I can't operate. That's a relationship. It doesn't work. If you doubt something about that relationship, it don't work. You can play with it, you can play with the ideas, you can flutter around stuff. Trust. I made a comment in the papers one day, the Burton Mail, the Derby Evening Telegraph, and I said, after one of these epic fights, and this man, Mickey Lynch, I said, without thinking at the time, I said, he's like a father to me. I have a father. My father's a good father. And I didn't realise until I read it in the paper the next couple of days. Mickey Lynch, he's like a father to me. I look up to him for inspiration, blah, 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 blah. And I read it back and I went, ooh. I looked over the top of the paper and looked at my dad. And my dad was like, looking at the paper, looking back into the paper, thinking, Dad, I didn't mean it the way it sounded. He goes, Neville, I've grown you from a child. I met Mickey, and he's a beautiful man. He comes into the house, he sits down, he's polite, he greets me, he's invited me to his house. I'm proud that you think he's a father figure, because that's what you need around you in this world that you're going into. And he goes, I respect what you said there. And I needed that for my father, because my father was my father, but he didn't know boxing. And I hadn't had that closeness with my father, close on other levels, but not in this sporting aspect. And this is another man outside, like another family, another father figure. So when I say it wasn't like my father wasn't around, even when my mum and parents split at age 10, he was still around. He still came in and monitored me and talked to me and questioned what I was doing in life. So, boom, no. So I had to be careful how I said that. So you might have took that the wrong way. As a kid, you don't think you just babble out stuff. And this was very important to have these father figures in your life. They don't have to be your initial father. And that was very important. And I have my dad talk back to me and say, I agree. He's an amazing man.
12 punches unanswered from the champion. It's Brown's biggest round yet. And Quinn is in bad trouble. He needs to get through this. Referee looking on very closely. He may step in, he's going to step in, it is over, it is stopped. Neville Brown has retained his title.
Today I look at today's society, I look at today's networking. If I want to know about Mayweather, I can find out where he was born, where he lived, where he schooled, I can find out everything. We had little VH videos years ago. You remember them? If you can remember that far back, I'm that old. We had nothing. We got 15 minutes max of a 15-round fight. Tom Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard. And it was an epic. And we got on the sports show 3-4 rounds. The highlights. They thought the highlights. As a fighter, I want to see the whole thing. I want to my own opinion of who should have won that round or whatever. That's what we got. And then it was memory. It was rehearsing. It was like watching a Bruce Lee film. After the Bruce Lee film, we were outside doing all these kung fu kicks, trying to kick each other and do these spin kicks. We haven't got a clue what we're doing. It was into your system. So Sugar Ray Leonard, that was it. We got that 15 seconds of limelight. You ain't going to see him again till 6 months' time. You're not going to see him again. So that was why we stood there. I remember sitting there and I remember just in my eyes, closing my eyes and just going over Sugar Ray Leonard. Every move he did, how he walked, how he talked, He was a positive mentor. So the same with Roberto Duran in the boxing terms, because he couldn't speak English, we didn't see much of him talking, but Leonard could talk well after fights. He didn't have that, yeah, I'm a boxer. He talked sophisticated. I like that. He's doing something right. Tommy Earns, great, Marvin Hagler. These were my teachers. But like I said, there were glimpses of, I mean, could you imagine if we had that kind of, the network we've got today? I can't believe how, so I can see room for improvement in so many levels of kids boxing now. Can break somebody apart and look at them and break them down and analyse them. But in them days, it was just up here and in the gym, they were my mentors. And whatever they did, if they were boxing, we stopped and went and watched. Now you can't do that anymore because you'd be stopping every 10 minutes. You'd just be overwhelmed with information of fighters, wouldn't you? But those days, the whole boxing fraternity stopped to watch Sugar Ray Leonard box Roberto Duran or whoever. And I met them guys, and I think Tommy was the last one I met 2 weeks ago, Tommy Earns, and Tommy Earns was just amazing. I think he's had a few big fights. You can see there's something going on there. Always very nervous, but he wasn't confident, where Sugar Ray was still confident. So he had these things going on. Tommy Earns was so genuine, it was beautiful. Sugar Ray was more to the point. You couldn't get to him. You couldn't break down his... That upset me a little bit, because from 1979, he was my mentor. I thought I was Sugar Ray Leonard. He got me out of, I wouldn't say I was in the ghetto, but he got me wanting to be better in such a manner that it wasn't about money. It was about this man's influence on my life. When I finally met him, it wasn't quite the trip I wanted. You know what I mean? Whereas Tommy, it was brilliant. Marvin Hagler, he came here, it was brilliant, and he was he was one I wanted to see. And I think I saw Sugar Ray when I was 47, and yeah, never seen Eubanks. I thought we didn't have to bump into Eubanks, but then again, I wanted to fight them guys, so I wanted to get against them guys. I met Nigel, knew Nigel Ben, but never actually trained with Nigel. So those things never happened, you know what I mean? There were big things that I think would have changed my career to have been around those athletes, but I kind of felt like I was outside looking in. It was about money as a professional. So you're outside looking in, and if you're a dangerous fighter, they don't really want you. If you're not bringing their money to the table, which makes sense. Yeah, I'd do the same if I was a businessman, and I was trying to get my fighter to the top without having too many hard fights. But I think it's going to be too silly nowadays. But that's my opinion.
These guys inspire me. They tell me how hard the game is. I want to get in there, and one day, who knows, I might even take on the Gladiators. Yay!
Mickey, have you got anything to add to that? Have you got anything to add to that, Mickey?
Well, I have no control over the Gladiators, unfortunately. So I'm just going to start challenging some realistic opponents. But he did very well, and I'm proud of him.